Joining me now is Sam Webb, National Chair of the Communist Party USA. Sam, how are you?
Very good.
Very good. You've been a communist, well, let me ask you the right way. Are you now, or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
40 years.
40 years you have. How your family must be so proud.
Well, I think, by the way, I don't think you have to be quite so apocalyptic about the future, quite so hysterical.
Oh, I know.
Probably chill out a little bit.
No, I know. You're a happy man. I saw
socialism, but socialism isn't yet on the agenda.
You are right.
The main thing is to improve the lives of working people in this country.
Right. America, will you listen? I want you to, and I mean this sincerely, listen to this man. He just gave a speech in Cleveland, Ohio, at the end of January?
About that, yeah.
And you said, I read it today, it's fantastic. You talked about how the communist agenda is being fulfilled by Barack Obama. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
I said the new president, the new Congress, does represent something quite different from what we've had over the past 8 years.
Yeah, I mean, let's be specific here. You said that not only is he a friend, but an ally.
I don't think I said that.
No,
I think I said a people's advocate.
No, you said an ally.
No, I don't think I did. I made the speech. You didn't.
Right. No, I've read it a lot. I mean, I really reveled over that speech.
Your memory
that
fails
was beautiful.
But the point I was making is this, that I think Obama represents the same kind of spirit that other reformers did in this country,
Lenin?
like Lincoln, like Teddy Roosevelt, like FDR,
who's a communist?
Even Lyndon Johnson.
Like Lenin?
No, not like Lenin.
Like Marx?
No, not like Marx.
Why not like Marx?
Because
he's
not a socialist, he's not a Marxist.
Why do you push yourself away from Lenin and Marx?
I don't myself, but Barack Obama does. He's not a socialist, he's not a communist. You know, you bandied that about during the campaign, and now people are bandying it about.
I know.
Now.
In America, let me tell you something.
The answer
Hang on,
is no.
Let me tell you something. I did say that Barack Obama had Marxist tendencies, that he has surrounded himself with Marxists his whole life. It's an absolute fact. You can look that up. I did say that I thought we were in for massive socialism. I did say also that if Barack Obama was elected, you would wake up one day in our country and it would be vastly different than the country that you went to sleep in. Well, I'm sorry that I've been so wrong on that.
Well, you've been wrong, but the American people, in their majority, did elect Barack Obama to the White House. They elected a different Congress, and what they wanted was change.
Okay, so
change after the disaster of the Bush years.
So you agree with Barney Frank?
I mean, you seem to forget that this country has been brought to its knees, its economic knees, because of the policies of the Bush administration and Wall Street.
Yeah. Barney Frank's also in there. Which one is he, Wall Street or... Barney Frank and the Democrats have said that they were going to get rid of Fannie and Freddie. They would relinquish them. But now they're holding on to them, and they're saying, no, we're going to hold on to them. You actually are for nationalizing the banks. You, as the leader of the Communist Party here in America, you say nationalizing the banks is a good thing. How come?
No, I say this. And by the way, the idea of taking over the banks is not such a wild idea. Even Alan Greenspan.
I know.
Headed up the Fed
and Alan Greenspan, he's been a friend of the worker, hasn't he?
No, he isn't.
Well, then why would you use him?
I'm just saying it's part of the mainstream now. This is not a wild communist idea.
No, but Alan Greenspan has been wildly discredited, at least by
But the point I would make is this. I would be for taking over the banks and democratizing them. I mean, you take Alan Greenspan. He had up the Fed for about 15 years.
He's one of the main culprits in this.
He's one of the main architects of this financial crisis.
Yes, he is.
Why should he make these decisions solely by himself? Why shouldn't the Fed be democratized?
Right.
Why shouldn't workers make those decisions?
So you're for the stimulus, except it's not big enough for you.
It's not big enough, and the composition is wrong. Too many tax breaks for the wealthiest Americans who've been pigs at the trough over the past 30 years since Reagan.
Wait, hang on just a second. We've been pigs at the trough?
I guess you'd be included in that category,
Really?
yes.
How much do you give for charity?
How much do I give for charity?
What percentage of your income do you give to charity?
I give my money to the People's Weekly World, our newspaper.
How much?
How much?
How much percentage of your salary?
$500. I make my pay is $26,000 a year. I give $500 a year to our paper. Wow. What's your salary?
Well, you can read about that in the New York Times. I give 20% of my salary.
You can't tell me now?
I give 20% of my salary. 20%. You give $500. What percentage is that? You know, the people who are always calling for the most compassion are the the people who are calling for the most compassion are the least likely to part with their money. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't greedy rich people, but there seem to be some greedy communists too.
Let me make this point.
Yes.
If we think that philanthropy, you know, by good soldiers like you, can begin to solve the problems that this country's facing, joblessness,
tell me about the solutions, and I mean this sincerely.
Pension meltdown.
You tell me about the problems, and you tell me about the problems that Stalin solved. I mean, I know he solved it for about between 50 and 100 million people, and he did that very nicely, and they were all buried in shallow graves. Tell me about the problems that they solved. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Agree or disagree?
We don't embrace, we've said this many times.
Of course not. You were fine. When you 40 years ago, were you not a fan of the Soviet Union?
We've condemned the...
Were you not a fan of the Soviet Union 40 years ago?
A fan of it? We think
you were a member of the Communist Party. Were you not saying, I love Russia? Weren't you saying we love Russia or the Soviet Union?
We love Russia. We did say that the Soviet Union...
You know what, Sam? Why can't you have a real conversation?
Well, the problem is, whenever we have a real conversation about what's going on in this country,
because your policies that you are, the policies that you are advocating, and our president is now advocating, don't work.
You gallop off to the Soviet Union and Stalin.
Okay, all right, let's go for another communist country. Okay, let's go for Cuba.
No,
tell me about tell me about Venezuela.
Won't you admit that the country's in economic mess because of the policies of
because
Bush,
we haven't.
Ronald Reagan?
No, because starting with Woodrow Wilson, my friend, you want to go back? Teddy Roosevelt, you want to go back? Let's go back. It's the policy of the big banks, and yes, I will agree with you, big business that no longer look at people as anything other than consumers. What businesses that look at countries only as markets. That's the problem, sir, and that started with the progressives. Look it up. Do your history. Now, let me ask you something. You tell me the communist country that... That's my water. I mean, you could have it. That's a communist.
We're comrades.
No, he's just taking my water. This is what communists do. Now, I was going to offer you a peep. Would you like a peep?
After the show, I'd love to take one. Or two.
I was only offering one.
Oh, one's good enough then.
All right. You may have one because I offer it, not because you're going to take it.
And your question?
Here's my question. Name the communist country that worked.
The communist country that worked, socialist countries.
No, give me the you're a communist. Give me the communist country.
And they've had difficulties.
Difficulties? They have killed hundreds of millions of people.
I don't agree with that.
Okay, wait. All right, so Stalin didn't kill a bunch of people?
Glenn, I'll take responsibility.
China doesn't drown their people in rice paddies?
I'll take responsibility for Stalin, the Soviet Union, if you'll take responsibility for Hitler, who emerged out of capitalist society.
Wait. Hitler, let me see. The Nationalist Socialist Party. The Nationalist Socialist Party. Look it up. I hate to break it to you. Nationalized socialism. That's what the Nazi Party was.
No, that's not true. That's a complete false.
Gresh?
Yes, sir?
Could you please look that up and try to do something a little more respectable than Wikipedia, which apparently he's on? Could you look up nationalized socialism and tell me if that is not the Nazi Party, please?
We'll be ready.
Thank you very much.
Let me return to the question. Whenever we get talking about the difficulties in this country, the economic crisis, which is affecting tens of millions across the country.
I understand that. That's why I give 20% of my salary to charity.
You don't talk about that, what caused it, and how to solve it. Instead, you want to blame Barack Obama and
No. I want to solve it. I want to solve it. You and I can build a bridge on one thing. You and I can build a bridge on one thing.
I would say
you and I can build a bridge on one thing, sir, and that is the Fed is behind this. The Fed is behind this.
Did Bush have any role to play?
Absolutely he did.
Yeah. Did the Republican right?
Yes.
It is the Nazi Party.
It is the Nazi Party. What's your source? Is it some crazy thing or what?
It's a source called Google. I've got over 6 million hits that will
Google.
support this.
Yeah. Okay. Nationalized socialism. Go read your history on the Nazi Party. Sam, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.